thank you to those that have already come in the comments here. This is not a live I want to be doing. Obviously, we've been hoping that something like this would not be happening for a bit now. And we've been taking precautions to make sure it wouldn't. Unfortunately, I do have bad news, and it's not fun to say whatsoever. But at the same time, you can't help some things. Um, so thank you already to those that are saying, "Oh no, feel better soon." I appreciate it. Uh, kind of coming down to this, I actually gotta go look at the comments here. Oh, there it is. I have a iPad here to help me read because it's a little small on the screen in front of me. But yesterday, I uh, I was feeling miserable when I woke up. Yesterday night, or 2 nights ago, before I went to bed, I started feeling a little bit of a tingle in my throat, some post-nasal drip. I had a little bit of a runny nose, but it didn't seem like much more than maybe from the cold. And so I went to bed early, hoping that just some rest would take care of it. It'll be good, all okay. Unfortunately, the next day, yesterday, when I woke up, I had felt horrible, miserable. Luckily, Jordan was able to, help me out in the fact of he got a test for me and him to take whenever we feel bad about a week prior. So we actually had our what you call it here. I'm gonna put some earbuds in just because that might help with the mic. I know this phone. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me now. Much better? Okay. Good. Um, so sorry. I'm a little bit under the weather, but I want to come and tell you all kind of what's going on. So thank you all for joining us. But 2 nights ago, I started feeling really bad. Well, not 2 nights ago. Yesterday during the morning, I felt really bad. 2 nights ago, I just started getting a tingle in the back of my throat, as well as a little post-nasal drip. Thought for sure, get some extra rest, I'll be fine the next day. Yesterday morning, I was feeling miserable. Post-nasal drip definitely made it more into a sore throat, which makes sense. That is a normal thing. Um, and then Jordan had gotten tests at home, take home tests about a week before. Luckily, we had them already here because they are out everywhere around us now. I mean, we could not get at home tests if we tried now. I took the test not thinking it could be anything, especially since I've already had COVID before. For anyone who is aware, both Jordan and I had COVID a little over a year ago now. And unfortunately, it came back positive. However, Jordan's did come back negative. So the hard thing about this is I don't want him to get sick at all. I don't want him to be around this, even though the science says that it probably will be likely that he gets it from me. I don't know that for sure. And so we made the hard decision to separate um, and have him be in the basement of our house and I stay on the main level. He's helps me out a ton in being able to get food and meals and drinks and all that readily available so I don't have to do much. So he'll prepare a soup in the kitchen and leave it out for me. Um, I will say this, that is a huge help. But being our anniversary today, which today is our anniversary, and not being able to be with him is tough. I think that is the hardship that I'm going through right now. Um, Obviously, we're in the same house. We can interact in other ways, but it's just not being able to be with him, not being able to hold him or be with him during our anniversary, it's tough. And for those that have followed along with us, oh, and Jordan's live in the chats from the basement. Thanks, Jordan, for being there. For him to have a negative test, it was good and bad. For me, it was great to know that he's not getting sick with this, at least for now. Hopefully, he never gets it, but if he does, it's not right now. But the bad, of course, on top of that, is that we couldn't spend time together, and that is such an unfortunate thing and a hard thing. I have been resting, not even just resting, I've been passed out off and on throughout the last 48 hours. In fact, I woke up from a nap just a little bit ago and felt up to doing this to give you all a little bit of a background of what's been going on. But this hit out of nowhere. I mean, this was one of those things that out of nowhere, I started feeling that tickle at night, woke up in the next morning, and I was positive right first thing in the morning. It was a for sure thing that I had the virus. So it is a tough situation. How does this affect cruising? You all know that that's what we love to do. That's what I love to do. We already canceled one of our cruises. Um, that was supposed to be this weekend for our anniversary, and we were so glad we did that. We did it because we wanted to hit Navigator of the Seas. Navigator of the Seas is in a week and a half, in about 10 days from now. Some of you are already probably doing the math. And we also canceled another cruise just before that because we wanted to go on Navigator of the Seas so badly. That was the one cruise that we really wanted to go on. Obviously, for those that are doing the math, it's not it's not not going to pan out. There's absolutely no way, especially if Jordan does end up getting the virus after me. Last time I got the virus after him, and it was a few days before I tested positive and started getting symptoms. So if that's the same with him, even if the smaller time frames, the 10-day window just will not work out for us to get to LA and go on Navigator of the Seas. So unfortunately, this is going to be something that actually impacts our cruising even further. And it's hard. So I'm going to get to some questions here. I just want to give everyone kind of right off the bat, just so you know what's going on. Obviously, you all here for cruising and positivity. I still believe that cruising is one of the safest places to be for travel. And part of the reason for that, and I'm sure this is a question in the comments right now, I got this most likely from going grocery shopping at Costco. And the reason I can say that with whole sincerity is because we have been quarantining and trying to stay away from people as much as possible. And within the last week, there are very few incidences that we can at all pin back to an opportunity where I could have gotten this. And that is almost all just one place, and that's Costco. So that I was masked, went in with Jordan. That's the other thing. We've been everywhere together. So the fact that he doesn't have it right now says a lot about how vaccines, as well as having COVID in the past, can affect different bodies differently. Who knows? He might come down with it in a few days. But if he doesn't come down with it, then that does mean that he has some protection that I didn't have. And that's a good thing. That's a great thing. But getting back to travel and cruises, I was able to be on a cruise ship this entire last year, over 100 nights at sea, and was not at all affected by COVID. I did not get COVID. I did not have to quarantine for COVID on a cruise ship or anything. However, we also know that this variant is very different than the other variants, and it's sounding like it's being able to have breakthrough cases, and it's affecting people a little bit more that are vaccinated as well as unvaccinated than before. So I'm really hoping, I'm really hoping that cruising doesn't shut down. However, if it does, I truly believe it's only going to be for a short time, because I feel like this is hitting faster than the last time I got COVID. I'm sure there's a lot of questions I'm missing out here, but hopefully Jordan's getting some of them. This variant hit me so much faster and so much harder than before when I got COVID, um, and it affected me differently. And I will say this, the time before, I felt all the symptoms for about 10 days straight. I'm really hoping this is quicker, and I already feel like it's quicker because I had a fever, and my fever finally broke in the middle of the day today. But I had it all the way from last night, all the way into the middle of the day today. For the previous COVID that I had, that lasted for days. I would have a fever on and off for days. And, knock on wood, that is not true for the COVID I have now. Based on my symptoms, I do believe it is Omicron. I don't believe that it is Delta or another variant that is something that we know about. But of course, I'm not a scientist. I did an at home test. There's absolutely nothing I can find to know that. For anyone that does get this, I just want to say real quick, please, please, please stay hydrated. For me, something that affected me and I wish I would have known beforehand is taking something like Tylenol or ibuprofen early, because that was one of the big things that affected me immediately was the headache that came on. So if you are getting affected by this, obviously I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to tell you prescribe meds, but for over-the-counter meds, that helped tremendously. And I have a feeling a lot of people will be affected by Omicron because, like I said, all I did was go to Costco, masked up, went with Jordan, went, grabbed groceries, and came out. And a few days later, I have Omicron. So very, very different than the previous variant that I had, um, where I could have gotten it from a lot of different places. This one was very siloed to one specific situation. Um, for anyone out there that is feeling the symptoms here, the runny nose was a big thing for me. Runny nose, sore throat, headache, um, and then today, new symptoms, sneezing. Overnight was the worst, fever, sweats. I mean, you could. I mean, even if Jordan did have and was able to sleep in the same bed as I don't think he would have been able to sleep because of how much I was tossing and turning. So just to know for anyone out there, the first night or first few nights might be tough, but at the end of the day, you'll get through it. I am feeling better this evening than I did yesterday, and I hope that will only continue. And I'm hearing from others that had this variant that that is what they've seen as well. So the Tylenol has helped me tremendously feel a little bit better and get over the headaches. But let's get to some questions here. I'm sorry, I rambled a little bit. I'm not my usual self, if you can imagine. So thanks for joining us. I should say me because Jordan's downstairs. Um, question: do you think the CDC will shut down cruising again or anything else? I I don't know about the CDC. I mean, that's a tough one. I do believe if cruise lines make the right choice, it might make the most sense to figure out what's more worth it to shut down for a few weeks. I do think this is going to be fast and quick based off of other countries that have gotten this before us. Um, I don't know. I don't make the big dollars to make that decision, but maybe it makes sense to shut down for a few weeks in January and come back strong in February. I don't know. That's my personal opinion. Do I think it's going to happen? I think we're already seeing some cruise lines having to do it purely because they have too many cases on board. They don't have crew to help. Royal Caribbean today. Don't know if you saw the video that Jordan posted this morning, or not this morning, this afternoon. It's been a blur for me. Royal Caribbean had to cancel cruises based off COVID. We have Norwegian that's had to as well. So this is not something unusual. Thank you so much for all the loves and hugs, and the get well soons. I really appreciate it. Um, I did not go to the doctor, Valerie. I had an at-home test that was able to give the diagnosis. Um, from what I've heard, the at-home test, if it is positive, is pretty good sign to say that you have it. It's just when it's negative that sometimes that could be off with the new variants. That's based off what I've heard. I'm not sure all of the things behind it. I think everyone's learning more and more every single day. Um, Joanne, thank you for the watching breathing. I'll definitely keep an eye on that. I have a oximeter and everything's been good so far, but of course I'll keep an eye on that. That was a lot more of an issue the first time. The first time we went through this, that was a big concern. This one, it hasn't hit my chest yet. Hopefully it doesn't, but that's the big thing. Dina said, "Question: Do you have taste or smell?" I do. However, because I was so stuffed up in the nose, my taste and smell have been muted. The taste have been muted, so I can still taste stuff, but it's not as full. Jaden Games TV, thank you for the super sticker. Hiya. I appreciate it. Um, and thank you for the anniversary, the well wishes for anniversary. Was I masked at Costco? Yes, we both have been masked anywhere we go. And just to bring this back, I'm sure Jordan's downstairs probably being like, "This is so all over the place," uh, just because my head is all over the place. But we aren't going out. We aren't going anywhere, even to restaurants. Most we've done is a drive-through, and then on top of that, grocery shopping. We aren't doing it because we wanted to stay safe so we could go cruising on Navigator of the Seas. Before that, we quarantined for the holidays for our grandparents. We wanted to make sure that our grandparents were safe, and so we did not want to have a single chance. So both Jordan and I quarantined before that. So, of course, that's how we are down to the fact that Costco, where we went grocery shopping this past week, is one of the only places we could possibly get it. Um, of course, there there are lots of places that people go right now, and everyone has that choice to be out and do what they like. However, for us, we were really trying to get on that cruise in mid-January, and we were really excited about it. So we were trying to quarantine and prevent that from happening. It just didn't work out. Thank you so excuse me. Thank you so much to to everyone, but Lucretia, I know that's a hard hit because I know that you had planned on going on a cruise with us as well. Um, Thanks, Guga and Rob. So I will say this, um, just so you know, obviously everyone is a little different for what works for them, but I have a feeling that there's going to be I mean, for how easy it was that I got it by just going to Costco, masked up, went to get groceries, and I got it. I have a feeling other people will probably also have, unfortunately, about with Omicron. Just please, please, please rest as much as possible. Uh, the other thing, just stay hydrated and know that if you're vaccinated and boosted, as am I, hopefully it'll keep everything mild. But for me, I will say this: the first night was rough. Today, I've been resting, I have been sleeping, and I've just been getting new symptoms like sneezing. But the Tylenol has really helped with my head, to where I don't have the headache out there. But it's just been about getting as much rest as possible, and that's what I've been doing. So I'm hoping, tomorrow will only be better, and then maybe, hopefully on Monday or Sunday even, I'll be back to completely normal. I'm hoping. That's what I'm hearing from others. Brian and Sue's Cruz, thank you so much for the heart. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Lots of fluid is a key. I do have Gatorade, as well as water, so I'm able to keep hydrated, as well as some herbal tea. Question: Were you boosted? Yes, John. I Both Jordan and I have gotten the vaccine, and then we both got boosted in early December. So we've been fully vaccinated since April. Well, April, May. The full vaccination, yeah, in April, and then boosted in this past December. Uh, Thank you, Chutney. Yes, the hot tea with honey. I've been doing that. It does help the throat. So thank you for that. Uh, are there any questions? I know there's a ton of comments going through, a little faster than I can read all of them. But if you have a question, if you can just put question in all caps, and if I missed it, you can repost it. I can try to get to it now. I'm going to try to see if there's any other ones I missed. For anyone coming in now, unfortunately, that means that we did have to cancel another cruise, the one we've been wanting to go on, which is Navigator of the Seas to the Mexican Riviera. Deepa, question just coming on. You both caught it. I'm so sorry to hear this, sending you both love. Deepa, thanks for joining. We did not both catch it. I have it, and that makes this anniversary so hard because Jordan and I are separate for our anniversary, which I can't think about too much because that makes me want to cry. But not being able to hug him and be with him in any really sort of way for our anniversary is horrible. It's horrible. Chutney question: how is your appetite? My appetite's been okay. The previous time, I really didn't want to eat much. I almost had to force myself to eat, but I also had a loss of taste and smell, so there wasn't that feeling of like wanting to eat something good to make you feel better. I will say my appetite hasn't been a lot either. I haven't been the type where I just want to keep on eating. Um, I probably have. I will probably lose a little bit of weight from this based on my appetite, if that tells you anything. Excuse me. I missed another question. Have you had it before, Christopher? Yes. Both Jordan and I have had it before. We had it over Halloween of 2020, and that was the first time we had it. Bob, forward question: what are your symptoms? Did you get a PCR done? Sense of smell? Great question. My symptoms started with postnasal drip and runny nose. That led into sore throat and headache with the runny nose the entire time. Sore throat has somewhat gone away, but the headache has been helped with Tylenol. And then fever came on after that, as well as chills. The chills were intense, um, but nothing like, I think it's called gnashing or something where it's with the teeth. I didn't have that. However, I did feel it in my teeth. So in my gums, I was able to feel this, like, when you feel like it, like you get too cold around your gums. It's almost like that sensitivity was in my gums and in my teeth, which I thought was really weird. I did not have that prior when I had COVID. Um, the big symptom, I think the roughest thing was just last night. Is a tough night to go through, just because you have the fever. I got up to 102, 103-degree fever last night, and I was just tossing and turning, mixing that with a headache that is muted because of the Tylenol, thank goodness, but a fever and sweats throughout the night. Uh, it was hard to sleep, but I will say my body forced me to sleep at the same time. There are many times where I went in and out of just thinking, I'm going to try to sleep to where I actually am asleep, and then I wake up. Um, it was an interesting experience last night. It was definitely very fever ridden. Then had the fever waking up this morning, a little bit lower though, around 100 degrees, 99 to 100 degrees throughout the day, and then finally it broke in the middle of the day. But I've just been resting as much as possible. Sorry, I'm doing a horrible job. Please forgive me. I want to come on because I know that there's probably so many people out there that are either just going through this now, had gone through this, or are going through this soon, as well as trying to decide if you're going to go cruise right now. Also, I'm alone, so this is in a way to like be able to talk with some people here, besides Jordan via the phone. Um, so this is some way to spend the anniversary. Um, Question: are you a mixed vaccine, from Rob? So no, I am just Johnson and Johnson. Um, don't know much on the science there, but in the U.S., Johnson and Johnson and Johnson and Johnson for boosted, for the booster as well. Thanks, Pam. um, Chutney, are you binging on any TV shows, etc.? You know what? I did. I will be honest. The first day of this, TV was not helpful because of the headache. I wasn't able to do much with it. Um, in fact, certain channels I couldn't even have it on because it was too much to handle. So honestly, I had something today, and then just a little bit last night, try to take my mind away from COVID. Um, so I haven't had too much time to binge watch anything. Um, I did finally finish Elite though, the final season. So good question. Given it was just one last episode. Morgoth, question: how long between exposure and symptoms this time feel better? It's a great question. Exposed Monday night, I believe. Jordan, let me know if I'm wrong. If you're in the chat still. Um, so yes, I was able. We went to Costco Monday. It might have been Monday night because that day I believe I had off work, so we went. I think a little bit more during the afternoon, and then Wednesday night, probably around 10 or 11, is when I started feeling the tingling in my back of my throat, and in my nose, with the runny nose. So what is that, like 2 days? About 2 to 3 days? Yeah. Jordan got it. Thanks, Jordan. Joanne, take Tylenol around the clock. Yeah, that's been a godsend. Honestly, I will say that that has been a huge help. I wish I would start it sooner. I waited probably a good 4 hours before taking it. I was trying to rest first, but my head was just not getting better. So if you do get it, I highly recommend doing it. I'm not a doctor, though. I think I have to say that. But based on my experience, that has been a big help. And it's over the counter, so hopefully that's helpful. Christopher, where's Jordan staying? So we have two-story home. By two-story, we have a basement, and so it's a finished basement. He's able to sleep in the basement as well as be in the basement to work. Where you see his video that he did today is in the basement. So we are lucky in the fact that we're not in Chicago, where we had a small condo where it would have been really hard to quarantine or isolate, I should say. But that's where he's at. um, Sorry, I'm trying to keep up. Wow, this is this is harder when you're doing it like this. I will say the first round of COVID was much harder than this one. Um, Obviously, I had a different variant. I also was not vaccinated at the time because vaccines were not released yet by the time I first had COVID. And I wasn't boosted, obviously, because I didn't have I wasn't fully vaccinated at that time because it wasn't available. I will say the first round, very different symptoms, really intense cough, um, really intense, what I call airy headaches. Don't have the airy headaches this time, and I don't have the cough. I know I coughed once on this broadcast. That's probably the second time I've coughed the entire time I've had this so far. uh, let's see here. Yeah, someone said, Laturia, that COVID out there tagging everyone. I do think, some of our friends, we told them earlier today, and they were like, How did you get it? Out of everyone, how did you get it? And they say that because they knew how much we were quarantining and trying not to be out there. And so they were like, if you're getting it, how am I not going to get it? How is anyone not going to get it? Um, I do believe that they have some truth to that statement. It is very intense right now. And I will say this in regards to cruising, because that's what we're all here about. If you're going to go in January, expect there to be ports to be canceled, expect you to have someone on the ship quarantined or lots of people quarantined, and expect to possibly be quarantined yourself unless you've recently had COVID, if you recently had Omicron. That's just how cruising is right now. I mean, if we have to be somewhat logical here, we all want to cruise. Every single one of us, we cruised so much last year. We loved cruising. We felt it's still the safest place to travel, but we were okay with adapting to change. And I do think that that's the one thing that everyone has to be okay with here is that if you're going to choose to cruise right now, you're going to have to expect it not to be the same as it was before. Um, that's just how it's going to be. So please, please, please do not go out and cruise right now and expect the cruise to be exactly what it was even 2 months before. We cruised November, December, early December before this thing was out there, and barely anyone was on the ship and had problems with this. So I think this is something you should take seriously. I'm not saying you should cancel, but I am also saying if you at all are concerned about getting it or about your cruise being different, that's something to keep in mind. Craig with the super chat. Have Jay get you an herbal tea on me. TV may not be helpful, but I hear there is an amazing new show called The Wake on YouTube to watch. Thanks, Craig. Thank you for that super chat. Yes, The Wake is incredible, and I was able to watch that. Uh, I do like The Wake on YouTube. And thank you for the herbal tea. Really appreciate it. Jenna had a question here. You said January. Do you think this will be the same in February? We cruise February 13th. Being just a cruiser and not a scientist, I would say that February, I'd hope, would be better. As you can see, it's January 7th. I know that pretty easily because it's our anniversary. It is happening fast. I mean, it's rapid. The fact that this is going so rapid should mean it falls rapidly. It just depends on when this peak's going to be. So I think February 13th, I personally would not cancel a cruise in February right now. I would wait it out, especially with a lot of cruise lines having some time out there, giving 48 hours or some time. Just check on what your refund policy and everything else. Google and Rob, I completely forgot, but I just remember now you said something about RuPaul. RuPaul's Drag Race is on tonight. I think I do plan to watch that. I think Jordan's going to watch that downstairs as well. So we have something to at least get our focus different tonight. Lisa, thank you for the super chat, $20. That is so kind. I really appreciate it. I haven't even read it yet, but sending a heart. I really appreciate it. Bless your heart. You were doing all the right things to stay safe. Get better soon and take your zinc along with D and C, the vitamin D and C. Thank you so much, Lisa, for that super chat. And I have been taking the zinc and vitamin D, but thank you for reminding. If you do have this at all, that helped Jordan and I a ton the first time we had COVID. So uh, obviously, I don't know the full effects of what those do, but I will say that we do it and it's not going to hurt. So if you do have that on hand, that's great. Oh, I was going to say that I know it's so hard out there right now to get them, but if you at all, while you're out shopping or anything, although mask up, double protect, try to go in and out to get one or two things, because obviously that's how I got it. Um, the main thing I was going to say, if you see an at-home test, grab it. I'm not even kidding you. We are having one shipped to us from a family relative that had an extra one because we won't be able to grab another one in our area. We've been calling around and everything. Jordan's been doing a great job calling around, but we don't have another one for Jordan to take in a few days. So unless he just starts having symptoms, we won't know if he's positive again until we get that. So that's been something just to note. If you have the ability, grab one. Don't grab tons, just grab one so that way you have it on hand along with whatever else you need for a potential isolation period. I think all of us at this point should be ready to potentially have this. The good news is, hopefully, most people will be milder for you. I will say that today I've started to feel better, and if that continues the course, this will be so much easier and so much better than the first time I had COVID by far. So that's the positive side of this. Deepa with the super sticker. Mwah. Thank you, Deepa, for the super sticker. I appreciate it. TB, another super sticker. Thank you, TB. Oh, I wish I had Jordan here to hug him too, because he's usually the little guy. He's usually the little blue guy. But Lemonhead's one of my favorite super stickers. Thank you so much, TB, for that super sticker. Oh, and Nancy. Oh, thanks, Nancy. You are amazing. Oh, thank you so much, Nancy and TB and Deepa and Lisa and Craig, all these super chats and super stickers out there. I think there was one before that as well that I already mentioned, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. Uh, the big thing, and I had to come up with this. Oh, Brian Seuss Cruz obviously had a super sticker, and Jaden Gamer TV. The big thing, if you do get this, please, please, please know that you're not alone. I think that is hard to say for me because our anniversary and I am alone. That is a hard part of this, is not being with Jordan. But know weirdly enough, misery loves company, and knowing that even doing all the right things, which is what I feel Jordan and I have done, we still got COVID. And so know that right now this variant is tough. It's out there, it's spreading like wildfire. And so if you get it, know that you're not alone. There are literally millions of other people out there that have it as well. Uh, and so if you know that, at least know there are resources out there. Know that there's people like us, for example. I obviously am going to be done with this in a few days. We're a resource. Other people are resources out there, friends, family that might have gone through this. Use them as a resource so you don't feel alone. I do think since it's hopefully shorter this time, that it won't be as big of a problem. But the first time I had COVID, I think that is the hardest thing is just being all alone and trying to fight something that is so still unknown. That is like, that was probably honestly the worst part of COVID at the first part. Obviously, the whole sickness part is horrible and it was a horrible time. But since Jordan and I were in two separate spaces at the beginning, that was just a miserable experience to know that Jordan was alone, I am alone, and not knowing what was coming up next. It's just a horrible thing. Joanne, thank you for the super sticker. Ah, Guga and Rob, thank you so much for the super chat. Love you, buddy. Kick it and kick it in the ass. Thank you, Guga and Rob. I plan to do that. Let's see. C King. Question. Are you short of breath? It seems like you're taking in deep breaths once in a while. Uh, for me, it's mostly in my congestion. So I probably sound very different because I'm so congested. I'm not short on breath, but I do have a constant tickle in my nose. And I honestly have tried not to blow my nose this entire time just because that's not something I want to be putting out there. But that's probably part of it, but also just being congested as well. Q's, thank you for the super chat. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my gosh, I hope I'm not running onto it. Okay, we have 8 minutes. But Q's, I have to run premiering at 8. Sending you lots of love and virtual hugs. Yes, Sarah and Bob. I'm hoping Bob feels better as well. I know he's feeling under the weather. I'm hoping that he's okay. But yes, for anyone that's on here, Q's Cruisers has a live premiere at 8. I did see that, and they're going to go on Beach Life at 8:30, and Sarah's going to be live with Hani. So for that, please go and check out. Man, I'm all over the place. I'm so sorry, but thank you, Q's, for coming. And I really appreciate it. Mary V, hang in there. Thank you so much for that super chat. And honestly, Mary, that is honestly what I'm saying right there is just being a community is very helpful. Like this is already giving me a pep to my step, even though I'm not planning on walking in all the places. That's the other thing I did not say. I'm so weak. Like I could not be doing this standing up right now because there's absolutely no way I would be able to stand that long. Yesterday, no way. Earlier today, probably not. I am getting some of my strength back, but that has been a trouble. Just being weak and exhausted constantly has been a thing. But thank you so much, Mary, for that super chat. And just saying you'll get through this, you can do it. That's huge. Cruising on the high seas. Thank you for the super sticker with the face that goes like this. um, Thank you so much. And I know I can't read. I mean, I would try to read every single comment, but that would probably just tire me out immensely. So appreciate you all giving me some grace tonight. I do want to know what every single person said. I do know a lot of the gist was that you are here for us, which we are so appreciative of. It's somewhat of a relief tonight to be able to, even though I'm not able to be with Jordan, to like be with him virtually here, but also be with the community. I think that's huge. Just being able to be with this great cruising community. I mean, you all are incredible people that I know we've met so many on cruise ships, and I can't wait to meet in 2022. And the good news here is that once I kick this, just like Google Rob said, I will be out there on cruise ships relentlessly because why not? I'm better protected than anything else out there. And if Jordan gets it, then the positive and the negative of him getting it, the positive is we can go out there together and be completely safe, cruising for the next few months before hopefully there's no other variants, but hopefully just go out there and not have a care in the world because we are going to be safe. We'll have that immunity. That's hopeful. Um, I think I just missed something. I'm so sorry if I did. Pump Travelers, thank you for the super chat. Get well soon. By the way, my name is Larry. Thank you, Larry. Thank you so much for that super chat. It looks like you're from Canada. Fantastic. We love our Canadian friends up north. And I gotta say, we know so many Canadians that have been struggling because all the travel restrictions and everything that's been going on. It's been a lot more restricted and tighter up there. It looks like we have just 3 more minutes, and I'm going to jump off so that way more than anything, I can rest, but also want to make sure Q's Cruisers gets all of you great, fantastic cruisers to go over to their premiere. But the big thing is, I believe they're going live at 8:30. And remind me, Jordan, if you have it, I think it's Beach Life or Beach Please. Hani, I think is almost at 1,000 subscribers. I think they're going live at 8:30. So if you can look into that, or if anyone else knows it for sure, let us know in the chat because it would be awesome if we could get them 1,000 subscribers tonight. That would make me feel even better knowing that this Chris community is just looking out for each other. That is huge. Seeking, get some rest, my love. Feel better quickly. You and Jordan kick back and watch a movie via video, of course. Happy anniversary. Good night. Thanks, Seeking. Yes, the plan is Google and Rob called it. I think there's going to be recording tonight is probably what we'll watch. The Beach Life. There you go. Wait, the Beach Life. It's on the Beach Life, right? Okay, I think it's on the Beach Life. I don't think it's on Q's because that wouldn't make sense for the subscriber part. I think the Beach Life is going to have Q's Cruisers on. So perfect. But yeah, hopefully we'll watch RuPaul's Drag Race virtually together. And I think we both agreed we are going to reclaim our anniversary another day. This is our anniversary, but maybe we'll have an anniversary trip and maybe you'll be invited to that. I don't know. Q's Addicts, get well soon, guys. Keep cruising. Thank you so much, Cruise Addicts, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Excuse me, just need a little drink here. All right, I know I'm getting up to the wire here. So, Jordan, if you are there, oh, perfect. Vanavi's Vacations just said Q's is premiering at 8, a new video. 8:30 is live with the Beach Life. So please go over to Q's Cruisers live, or not live, their premiere, and then definitely check out at 8:30 to see if we can get them to 1,000 subscribers. That'd be fantastic. But thank you so much. If you are brand new to us for any reason, please hit that subscribe button. Even if you aren't new to us, please hit subscribe and hit that like button. But the subscribe is really helpful. We're getting so close to 18K, so we really appreciate it. And definitely, if you want to help us out, if you don't have any, super chats or super stickers, but you still want to help us out, a huge thing to help us out is just sharing our content to other people that you think would be interested in our content. That's as easy as if you're going on a sailing, we've done a ship tour or anything else for it, being able to share it to that roll call page gets us out to a whole new market of people. So really appreciate it. Oh, some final super stickers coming in. Desiree, thank you for the rainbow. I'm making a rainbow, but really it's a rainbow heart. Thank you, Desiree. Barry Lambert, thank you for the heart sticker as well. I appreciate it. Did I miss one more? I feel like I did, but I don't see it. No, okay. All right, thank you, everyone. They're starting in 1 minute. Go over to Q's Cruisers. Thank you so much. Keep us in your thoughts and prayers, please. Hopefully Jordan doesn't get it, but if he does, we'll definitely let you know. Thank you so much. How do you turn this off? Oh my goodness. I feel like it's been forever. Oh, here you go. Thanks, everyone.